Chapter 16, Digestion and Absorption. Food is one of the basic requirements of all living organisms. The major components of our food are carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. Vitamins and minerals are also required in small quantities. Food provides energy and organic materials for growth and repair of tissues. The water we take in plays an important role in metabolic processes and also prevents dehydration of the body. Biomacromolecules in food cannot be utilized by our body in their original form. They have to be broken down and converted into simple substances in the digestive system. This process of conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable form is called digestion and is carried out by our digestive system by mechanical and biochemical methods. General organization of the human digestive system is shown in figure 16.1. 16.1 Digestive System. The human digestive system consists of the alimentary canal and the associated glands. 16.1.1 Alimentary Canal. The alimentary canal begins with an anterior opening, the mouth, and it opens out posteriorly through the anus. The mouth leads to the buccal cavity or oral cavity. The oral cavity has a number of teeth and a muscular tongue. Each tooth is embedded in a socket of jawbone, figure 16.2. This type of attachment is called thecodont. Majority of mammal, including human beings, form two sets of teeth during their life, a set of temporary milk or deciduous teeth replaced by a set of permanent or adult teeth. This type of dentition is called diphyodont. An adult human has 32 permanent teeth which are of four different types heterodont dentition, namely incisors I, canines C, premolars PM and molars M. Arrangement of teeth in each half of the upper and lower jaw in the order I, C, PM, M is represented by a dental formula which in human is 2123 by 2123. The hard chewing surface of teeth made up of enamel helps in the mastication of food. The tongue is a freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of oral cavity by the frenulum. The upper surface of the tongue has small projection called papillae, some of which bear taste buds. The oral cavity leads into a short pharynx which serves as a common passage for food and air. The esophagus and the trachea windpipe opens into the pharynx. A cartilaginous flap called epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the glottis. Opening of the windpipe during swallowing. The esophagus is a thin, long tube which extends posteriorly, passing through the neck, thorax, and diaphragm and leads to a J-shaped bag like structure called stomach. A muscular sphincter gastroesophageal regulates the opening of esophagus into the stomach. The stomach, located in the upper left portion of the abdominal cavity, has four major parts: a cardiac portion into which the esophagus opens, a fundic region, body main central region, and a pyloric portion which opens into the first part of small intestine, figure 16.3. Small intestine is indistinguishable into three regions: a C-shaped duodenum, a long coiled middle portion jejunum, and a highly coiled ileum. The opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by the pyloric sphincter. Ileum opens into the large intestine. It consists of cecum, colon, and rectum. Cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms. A narrow finger-like tubular projection, the vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ, arises from the cecum. The cecum opens into the colon. The colon is divided into four parts: an ascending, a transverse, descending part, and a sigmoid colon. The descending part opens into the rectum, which opens out through the anus. The wall of alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum possesses four layers, namely serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and mucosa. Serosa is the outermost layer and is made up of a thin mesothelium, epithelium of visceral organs, with some connective tissues. Muscularis is formed by smooth muscles, usually arranged into an inner circular and an outer longitudinal layer. An oblique muscle layer may be present in some region. The submucosal layer is formed of loose connective tissue containing nerves, bloods, and lymph vessels. In duodenum, glands are also present in submucosa. The innermost layer lining the lumen of the alimentary canal is the mucosa. This layer forms irregular folds rugae in the stomach and small finger-like foldings called villi in the small intestine. Figure 16.5. The cells lining the villi produces numerous microscopic projections called microvilli giving a brush border appearances. These modification increases the surface area enormously. Villi are supported with a network of capillaries and a large lymph vessels called the lacteals. Mucosal epithelium has goblet cells which secrete mucus that help in lubrication. Mucosa also forms glands in the stomach, gastric glands, and crypts in between the bases of villi in the intestine, crypts of Leverkuhn. All the four layers shows modification in different part of the alimentary canal. 16.1.2 Digestive glands. The digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal include the salivary gland, the liver, and the pancreas. Saliva is mainly produced by three pairs of the salivary glands: the parotid cheek, the submaxillary, submandibular lower jaw, and the sublinguals below the tongue. These glands, situated just outside the buccal cavity, secrete salivary juice into the buccal cavity. Liver is the largest gland of the body, weighing about 1.2 to 1.5 kg in an adult human. It is situated in the abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm and has two lobes. The hepatic lobules are the structural and functional unit of liver containing hepatic cells arranged in the form of cords. Each lobule is covered by a thin connective tissue sheath called the Gleason's capsules. The bile secreted by the hepatic cells passes through the hepatic duct and is stored and concentrated in a thin muscular cell called the gallbladder. The duct of gallbladder, cystic duct, along with the hepatic duct from the liver forms the common bile duct, figure 16.6. The bile duct and the pancreatic duct open together into the duodenum as the common hepatopancreatic duct, which is guarded by a sphincter called the sphincter of Oddi. The pancreas is a compound, both exocrine and endocrine, elongated organ situated between the limbs of the she-shaped duodenum. The exocrine portion secretes an alkaline pancreatic juice containing enzyme, and the endocrine portion secretes hormone insulin and glucagon. 16.2 Digestion of food. The process of digestion is accomplished by mechanical and chemical processes. The buccal cavity performs two major functions: mastication of food and facilitation of swallowing. The teeth and the tongue, with the help of saliva, masticate and mix up the food thoroughly. Mucus and saliva helps in lubrication and adhering the masticated food particle into the bolus. The bolus is then conveyed into the pharynx and then into the esophagus by swallowing or deglutition. The bolus further passes down through the peristalsis. The gastroesophageal sphincter controls the passage of food into the stomach. The saliva secreted into the oral cavity contains electrolytes Na positive, K positive, Cl negative, HCO3 negative, and enzymes salivary amylase and lysozyme. The chemical process of digestion is initiated in the oral cavity by the hydrolytic action of the carbohydrate splitting enzyme, the salivary amylase. About 30% of the starch is hydrolyzed here by this enzyme, optimum pH 6.8, into a disaccharide maltose. Lysozyme present in the saliva act as an antibacterial agent that prevents infections. Starch is converted into maltose in the presence of salivary amylase at pH 6.8. The mucosa of stomach has gastric glands. Gastric glands have three major type of cells, namely: first, mucous neck cells, which secretes mucus; second, peptic or chief cells, which secretes the proenzyme pepsinogen; and third, parietal or oxyntic cells, which secrete HCl and intrinsic factors essential for absorption of vitamin B12. The stomach stores the food for 4 to 5 hours. The food mixes thoroughly with the acidic gaseous juice of the stomach by the churning movement of its muscular wall and is called the chyme. The proenzyme pepsinogen on the exposure to hydrochloric acids get converted into the active enzyme pepsin, the proteolytic enzyme of the stomach. Pepsin converts protein into proteoses and peptides. The mucus and bicarbonates uh, present in the gastric juice plays an important role in lubrication and protection of the mucosal epithelium from excoriation by the highly concentrated hydrochloric acid. HCl provide the acidic pH 1.8 optimal for pepsins. Rennin is a proteolytic enzyme found in the gastric juice. Rennin is a proteolytic enzyme found in the gastric juice of infants which helps in the digestion of milk proteins. A small amount of lipases are also secreted by gastric glands. Various types of movements are generated by the muscularis layer of the small intestine. These movements help in a throughout mixing up of food with various secretions in the intestine and thereby facilitate digestion. The bile, pancreatic juice, and the intestinal juice are the secretion released into the small intestine. Pancreatic juice and bile are released through the hepatopancreatic duct. The pancreatic juice contains inactive enzymes trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidases, amylases, lipases, and nucleases. Trypsinogen is activated by an enzyme enterokinase secreted by the intestinal mucosa into the active trypsin, which in turn activates the other enzyme in the pancreatic juice. The bile released into the duodenum contains bile pigments, bilirubin and biliverdin, bile salt, cholesterol, and phospholipids, but no enzyme. Bile help in emasculation of fats, that is, breaking down of the fat into the small micelles. Bile also activates lipases. The intestinal mucosal epithelium has goblet cells which secrete mucus. The secretion of the brush border cells of the mucosa along with the secretion of the goblet cell constitute the intestinal juice or succus entericus. This juice contains a variety of enzymes like disaccharidases, example maltase, dipeptidases, lipases, nucleosidases, etc. The mucus, along with the bicarbonates from the pancreas, protects the intestinal mucosa from acid as well as provide an alkaline medium pH 7.8 for enzymatic activities. Submucosal glands, Brunner's gland also help in this. Proteins, proteoses, and peptones, partially hydrolyzed proteins in the chyme reaching the intestine, are acted upon by the proteolytic enzyme of pancreatic juice as given below. Proteins, peptones, proteoses is converted into dipeptidases in the presence of trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase. Carbohydrate in the chyme are hydrolyzed by pancreatic amylase into disaccharides. Polysaccharides starch converted into disaccharides in the presence of amylase. Fats are broken down by lipases with the help of bile into di and monoglycerides. Fats are converted into diglycerides and then into monoglycerides in the presence of lipases. Nucleases in the pancreatic juice act on nucleic acid to form nucleotides and nucleosides. Nucleic acids converted into nucleotides and then into nucleosides in the presence of nucleases. The enzyme in the succus entericus act on the end product of the above reaction to form the respective simple absorbable form. This final step in digestion occurs very close to the mucosal epithelium cell of the intestine. Dipeptides are converted into amino acids in the presence of dipeptidases. Maltose is converted into glucose plus glucose in the presence of maltase. Lactose are converted into glucose plus galactose in the presence of lactase. Sucrose are converted into glucose plus fructose in the presence of sucrase. Nucleotides are converted into nucleosides in the presence of nucleotidases. Nucleosides are converted into sugars and bases in the presence of nucleosidases. Di and monoglycerides are converted into fatty acids plus glycerols in the presence of lipases. The breakdown of biomicromolecule mentioned above occur in the duodenum region of the small intestine. The simple substances thus formed are absorbed in the jejunum and ileum region of the small intestine. The undigested and unabsorbed substances are passed on to the large intestine. No significant digestive activity occurs in the large intestine. The function of the large intestine are: first, absorption of some water, minerals, and certain drugs; second, secretion of mucus, which help in adhering the waste undigested particles together and lubricating it for an easy passage. The undigested, unabsorbed substances called feces enters into the cecum of the large intestine through ileocecal wall, which prevent the backflow of the fecal matter. It is temporarily stored in the rectum till defecation. The activities of the gastrointestinal tract are under neural and hormonal control for proper coordination of different parts. The sight, smell, and or the presence of food in the oral cavity can stimulate the secretion of saliva. Gastric and intestinal secretions are also similarly stimulated by neural signals. The muscular activities of different parts of the alimentary canal can also be moderated by neural mechanism, both local and through by CNS. Hormonal control of the secretion of digestive juice is carried out by local hormones produced by the gastric and intestinal mucosa. Calorific value of proteins, carbohydrate, and fat, boxed item not for evaluation. The energy requirement of animals and the energy content of food are expressed in terms of measure of heat energy, because heat is the ultimate form of all energies. It is often measured to as calorie or joule, which is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree centigrade. Since this value is tiny amount of energy, physiologists commonly used kilocalorie or kilojoule. 1 kilocalorie is the amount of energy required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 degree centigrade. Nutritionist traditionally refers to kilocalorie as the calorie or joule, always capitalized. The amount of heat liberated from the complete combustion of 1 gram food in a bomb calorimeter, a closed metal chamber filled with O2, is its gross calorific or gross energy value. The actual amount of energy combustion of 1 gram of food is the physiologic value of food. Gross calorific value of carbohydrate, protein, and fats are 4.1 kilocalorie per gram, 5.65 kilocalorie per gram, and 9.45 kilocalorie per gram respectively, whereas their physiologic values are 4.0 kilocalorie per gram, 4.0 kilocalorie per gram, and 9.0 kilocalorie per gram respectively. 16.3 Absorption of digested product. Absorption is the process by which the end product of digestion pass through the intestinal mucosa into the blood or lymph. It is carried out by passive, active, or facilitated transport mechanism. Small amount of monosaccharides like glucose, amino acids, and some electrolytes like chloride ions are generally absorbed by a simple diffusion. The passage of these substances into the blood depends upon the concentration gradient. However, some substances like glucose and amino acids are absorbed with the help of carrier proteins. This mechanism is called the facilitated transport. Transport of water depends upon the osmotic gradient. Active transport occurs against the concentration gradient and hence requires energy. Various nutrients like amino acids, monosaccharides like glucose, electrolytes like Na plus are absorbed into the body by this mechanism. Fatty acids and glycerol, being insoluble, cannot be absorbed into the blood. They are first incorporated into the small droplets called micelles, which move into the intestinal mucosa. They are reformed into very small protein coated fat globules called the chylomicrons, which are transported into the lymph vessels, lacteals, and the villi. These lymph vessels ultimately release the absorbed substances into the bloodstreams. Absorption of the substances takes place in different part of the alimentary canal like mouth, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. However, maximum absorption occur in the small intestine. A summary of absorption, site of absorption, and substances absorbed is given in table 16.1. Table 16.1, the summary of absorption in different part of digestive system. Mouth. Certain drugs coming in contact with the mucosa of mouth and lower side of the tongue are absorbed into the blood capillaries lining them. Stomach. Absorption of water, simple sugar, and alcohol, etc., takes place. Small intestine, principal organ for absorption of nutrients. The digestion is completed here, and the final product of digestion, such as glucose, fructose, fatty acids, glycerol, and amino acids, are absorbed through the mucosa into the bloodstream and lymph. Large intestine, absorption of water, some minerals, and drugs takes place. The absorbed substances finally reach the tissue, which utilize them for their activities. This process is called assimilation. The digestive waste solidifies into the coherent feces in the rectum, initiate a neural reflux causing an urge or desire for its removal. The ejection of feces to the outside through the anal opening, defecation, is a voluntary process and is carried out by the mass peristaltic movement. 16.4 Disorders of digestive system. The inflammation of the intestinal tract is the most common ailment due to bacterial and viral infections. The infections are also caused by the parasites of the intestines like tapeworm, roundworms, threadworms, hookworms, pinworms, etc. Jaundice. The liver is affected, skin and eyes turn yellow due to the deposit of bile pigments. Vomiting. It is the ejection of stomach contents through the mouth. This reflex action is controlled by the vomit center of the medulla. A feeling of nausea precedes vomiting. Diarrhea. The abnormal frequency of bowel movement and increased liquidity of fecal discharge is known as diarrhea. It reduces the absorption of food. Constipation. In constipation, the feces are retained within the colon, and as the bowel movement occurs irregularly. Indigestion. In this condition, the food is not properly digested, leading to a feeling of fullness. The cause of indigestion are inadequate enzyme secretion, anxiety, food poisoning, overeating, and spicy food. PEM. Dietary deficiencies of food and total food calories are widespread in many underdeveloped countries of South and Southeast Asia, South America, and West and Central Africa. Protein energy malnutrition (PEM) may affect large section of the population during drought, famine, and political turmoil. This happened in Bangladesh during the Liberation War and in Ethiopia during the severe drought in mid-80s. PEM affects infants and child to produce marasmus and kwashiorkor. Marasmus is produced by a simultaneous deficiency of proteins and calories. It is found in the infant less than a year in age if mother's milk is replaced too early by other foods which are poor in both proteins and caloric value. This often happens in the mother has second pregnancies or childbirth when the older infant is still too young. In marasmus, protein deficiency impairs growth and replacement of tissue proteins, extreme emaciations of the body, and thinning of limbs results. The skin become dry, thin, and wrinkled. Growth rate and body weight decline considerably. Even growth and development of brain and mental faculties are impaired. Kwashiorkor is produced by protein deficiency accompanied by calorie deficiency. It results from the replacement of mother's milk by a high calorie, low protein diet in a child more than 1 year in age. Like marasmus, kwashiorkor show wasting of muscles, thinning of limbs, failure of growth, and brain development. But unlike marasmus, some fat is still left under the skin. Moreover, extensive oedemia and swelling of body parts are seen. Summary. The digestive system of humans consists of an alimentary canal and associated digestive glands. The alimentary canal consists of the mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and the anus. The accessory digestive glands includes the salivary glands, the liver with gallbladder, and the pancreas. Inside the mouth of the teeth masticates the food. The tongue tastes the food and manipulates it for proper mastication by mixing with the saliva. Saliva contains a starch digestive enzyme, salivary amylase, that digests the starch and convert it into maltose disaccharides. The food then passes into the pharynx and enters the esophagus in the form of bolus, which is further carried down through the esophagus by peristalsis into the stomach. In stomach, mainly protein digestion takes place. Absorption of simple sugar, alcohol, and medicines also takes place in the stomach. The kind food enters into the duodenum portion of the small intestine and is acted on by the pancreatic juice, bile, and finally by the enzyme in the succus entericus, so that the digestion of carbohydrate, proteins, and fat is completed. The food then enters into the jejunum and ileum portions of the small intestine. Carbohydrates are digested and converted into the monosaccharides like glucose. Proteins are finally broken down into amino acids. The fats are converted to fatty acids and glycerol. The digested end product are absorbed into the body through the epithelial lining of the intestinal villi. The undigested food, feces, enters into the cecum of the large intestine through ileocecal valve, which prevents the backflow of the fecal matter. Most of the water is absorbed in the large intestine. The undigested food becomes semi-solid in nature and then enters into the rectum, anal canal, and is finally egested out through the anus. Thank you.